What's the most memorable piece of advice you've ever gotten from a songwriter or otherwise in your career?
One of the best that I heard is, if you want to hunt tigers, you got to go where the tigers are. And that basically means if you want to be a country songwriter, you better get your butt to Nashville. If you want to be a Texas songwriter, you probably better get to Austin, and it's very few people. I mean, when I was living in Bloomington, Indiana, John Mellencamp, he was John Cougar at the time. He lived across the street from me. I was in the poor version. He was in the rich version. But, he's made a career out of being from Bloomington and Seymour, Indiana. But that's pretty impossible to do. You got to have the right things fall into place. So that was just one of those things. I knew I had to move to Nashville if I was going to try to be a songwriter, because you can't. They want to see you here. They want to see you knocking on doors. They want to see you struggling. They want to see you hopefully getting better the longer you've been there. And if you're sending in stuff from somewhere else, like Lexington, Kentucky, they really don't know who you are or really care. And there's just so many talented people here that you're probably not going to get the chance. So you might as well move down here and see what happens.
And it's also the iron sharpens iron thing. I mean, there being so much talent there, it makes you better so much quicker. Playing with better musicians, writing with better writers or more experienced writers. That's the way you progress.
That's right. They always say try to write up.
Definitely.
Same like when you were on a baseball team or something. You wanted to be with guys that were better than you, so you would get better. And
absolutely.
So that's kind of what works here in Nashville. You never know who you're going to run into, and it's also the thing of, there were years I probably wrote 300 songs a year, and I can't say very many of them were very good. But after 10 years of writing 300 songs a year, you get a better idea on what's good and what's not. And it all just makes you a better writer. The more you do it, it's like lifting weights or learning how to play electric guitar. The more you do it, it's at 10,000 hours, I think, and
absolutely.
That's the blessing of Nashville, because you have that testing ground. And how do I stand up to the rest of them? And,
exactly.
When I moved to town, there was a Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame, but I never dreamed I'd be in it. But you just never know. So I'm very grateful for everything that's happened, that I ended up being in there. And there's, you look at the names of the people, and one guy that was a big influence on me when I was back in Kentucky was a guy by the name of Ray Van Hoy. And he didn't get in until after I got in, but I always thought he should have been in a long time ago. And I was just really happy when he finally got in, because he was having hits when he was 18 years old. And I'm in Kentucky reading these songwriter magazines going, who the hell is this guy? He's 18 years old. Songs, but it kind of showed you it could be done.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty rare for somebody to have enough wisdom to write a song that means anything at that age. I mean, it normally doesn't happen.
Well, and the good thing for him was he happened to be in the room when Bobby Braddock needed a co-writer on a couple things. And Bobby Braddock is, a total legend and has been for years. So I think one of the first things they wrote was Golden Ring by George and Tammy. So I think it helped.
That's a pretty good start.
Yeah. I think having the older guy be the thing that sharpened him up pretty quick.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a pretty legend. That's legendary, almost like my friend Kent Blazy. I mean, it's up there.
Well, I'll take that. It's fun that Rafe and I have gotten to be good friends, and I feel that's an honor too of being here in Nashville. So you just never know what's
that's neat. It's
just
neat.
Like playing electric guitar on the Ryman stage for Garth Brooks. I mean, whoever thought I'd be doing something like that? I never dreamed it. So
that is pretty wild. There's no bigger honor than to play on that Ryman stage in my mind. Just the smell of that room. That room feels like church.
Well, it is. It was a church, and they call it the Mother Church, and it really does feel like that when you're there.
Hmm. It
There's
does.
not a group that comes through here, pop, rock, country, jazz. They all want to play the Ryman. They all want to say they played the Ryman, and I think that's really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's something about it, and there's just something. You're right about town. Holly and I were in town eating at some little place, and Steve Dorff walked in and sat down in the little restaurant we were eating. He was just a few booths down from us, so we got to talk to him. I just like talking to him. That's
Well,
almost as big an honor as meeting my friend Kent Blazy.
Well, I mean, Steve Dorff's just one of the most amazing songwriter musicians that I've gotten to work with. I went out to California and wrote some things with him, and man, what a melodic guy, And
Absolutely.
I just, I'm so glad he moved to Nashville because he fits right in so good here, And I've never heard somebody come up with any more beautiful melodies than Steve Dorff can come up with. And he's such a humble guy, as you probably, when you met him,
Hmm.
figured out. And that's how most of the people are in this town. It's very cool.
It's really neat. It's really neat. I'm not sure that's the case anywhere else, where somebody who has that level of celebrity would be willing to talk to somebody like me.
What's your name again? Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah. I'm just a dude.
that's 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 the fun part of Nashville. And it used to be really more that way back in the '80s. Nashville people don't really care who you are. It's like they're just glad that you're here. Now we've got so many people coming in from out of town because of bachelorette parties and all the other stuff that it's not as easy just to walk around unnoticed as it was back in the
Right.
80s. And that was when you could spot somebody at the grocery store, John Prine at the grocery store, or John Denver in the shopping mall, or things like that. And
That'd be pretty neat.
yeah, that doesn't happen much anymore.